It was a small farming community on the outskirts of town, where the fields stretched as far as the eye could see. Every year, when the harvest season rolled around, the farmers would create scarecrows to protect their crops from the pesky crows and other birds that would descend upon the fields. But there was something different about the scarecrow that old Mr. Johnson had created this year. It stood tall and proud, with its arms outstretched and a permanent grin on its face. The other farmers would stop and stare at it as they passed by, wondering what it was that made it seem so lifelike. The first sign that something was wrong came one night when the moon was full and bright. One of the neighboring farmers had gone out to his field to check on his crops, and as he passed by Mr. Johnson's scarecrow, he thought he saw its head turn to follow him. He dismissed it as a trick of the light, but as he walked back to his farmhouse, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was following him. He turned around and saw the scarecrow in the distance, still standing tall and watching him with its cold, lifeless eyes. Over the next few days, strange things began to happen in the fields. Crops would be trampled and destroyed, and the scarecrow would always be nearby, watching with its unblinking gaze. Some of the farmers even claimed to have heard whispers coming from the fields at night, though they could never make out what was being said. Then, one night, a young girl was walking home from a friend's house when she saw the scarecrow move. It didn't just turn its head this time, it took a step forward, its arms still outstretched as if it were trying to embrace her. The girl screamed and ran all the way home, and the next morning, the farmers found the scarecrow standing in the middle of the field, its clothes torn and stained with blood. No one ever knew what happened that night, but after that, the farmers stopped making scarecrows altogether. Some say that the scarecrow still stands in the fields to this day, watching and waiting for its next victim to come too close. And every once in a while, on a quiet night, you can still hear the whispers coming from the fields, carried on the wind like a warning to stay away.